In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front caliper on your Mini Cooper. It's located behind your front wheel. Before beginning this job and replacing your pads, you are going to need a new brake wear sensor and also maybe a scan tool if your brake light's on and you need to reset it. Using a 17mm socket, we're going to remove our wheel. Let's remove our wheel. We're going to remove our cap off our bleeder and make sure our bleeder screw opens, so when we push in the piston on the caliper, we can crack that open. I removed my brake pad wear sensor as well, and now I'm going to use a 10mm socket and just crack this open. I am going to close it down lightly so that I can open it when it's time to open it. We're going to remove this wear sensor. You can use a flathead screwdriver. Then you're just going to pry it out. If yours is already worn down and broken, you can just cut it off, or don't worry about breaking it off if you're replacing it. Now we're going to remove our spring clip. I'm going to use some needle nose pliers with a right angle bend. You can use wire cutters, pry bars. Using a 7mm Allen wrench, we're going to remove our slide pins. There should be covers on these. I don't know why ours are missing, but take your covers off first. Just using a flathead screwdriver, they just pop off. And when you're done, put them back on. Make sure you have a caliper hanger ready to go. And you can hang it on your spring. I'm just going to push back the piston slightly, and then we're going to remove our caliper. You can use a pry bar if it's stuck. Once you remove it, you can hang it up. You can remove your front pad. And now we're going to remove the bracket. Using a 16mm socket, we're going to take out this bolt and also this one. Make sure you have a good hand on your bracket. You can remove your bolts and your bracket. Before doing any hydraulic work, it's a good idea to press your brake pedal down and hold it down with something like a pry bar or a pole. That way you don't lose as much fluid, and it's easier to bleed the brakes after. We're going to remove our caliper using an 11mm socket, and we'll disconnect this hose. Make sure you have a drip pan below, obviously. Now we're going to remove our caliper. Remove your bolt and washers. Remove your bolt and then these washers. Do not reuse them. And then you're going to come on this side and take this one off as well. If you're having a really hard time getting your washer off, you can use some wire cutters and just take it off like that. Here we are at the bench with our new caliper. We're going to remove our bolt with washers. And I'm going to take the caps off to get to my slide bolts. I'm using a flathead screwdriver to do that. And we're going to take out our slides. Same size, 7mm. It is easier using a power gun. doing it by hand on the bench. If you don't have one, you can do it in a vise. Now we can remove our bracket. Let's get our bolt ready with washer. So you're going to put the washers on either side of the brake hose. And now we're going to put our caliper on and get our hose going. I'm going to rehang this up so I can tighten that hose. Just snug this up for now and then we'll torque it later, just to keep the brake fluid from dripping. Now we're going to put our caliper on, line up the bolt holes, and get your bolt started. Do the top as well. Now we're going to snug these up. Let's torque this to 81 foot-pounds. And the one on the bottom as well. Now we can put our pads in. Let's put our pad in. You're just going to line it up, push it in. Like that. Put your other pad on the other side. And now you can slide this on like that and get your slides started. You want to add some paste. And now we're going to put our slides through. I put paste on my slides as well. Once you get those started, you can move on to tightening them down, and then we're going to torque them to 20 foot-pounds. So now that we've tightened those down, we're going to torque them to 20 foot-pounds. Do the same on the top. We're going to torque our hose to 30 foot-pounds. And now we're going to put our caps on our slides. Now we're going to put our spring on. Push it in, get it started. Do the same in the bottom. These can be a little temperamental sometimes. So get it started down there. And then push it in the rest of the way. If you use the caliper hanger, now's a good time to take that out. And we're going to install our brake wear sensor next. Line up your sensor. Make sure you have that bump on the outside, the same way you took it off. And you're going to push this in to the pad. Apply pressure and have it slide in. If you need to, gently use a punch and just give it a little tap until it bottoms out. Make sure it bottoms out, and now we can move on and do our gravity bleed. Now that we're done our hydraulic work, we're going to release our brake pedal. I'm going to give it a few pumps. Make sure that pedal's at the top. And now we can proceed to our gravity bleed. Now we're going to do a gravity bleed. We're going to loosen up our bleeder screw. And we're going to wait for the air to come out. And look for a steady stream or a steady drip. All the air bubbles are gone. It's a steady stream or a steady drip, so I'm going to close it down. Clean the area with some brake pads cleaner. Now we're going to put this back on. And then you can put your bleeder screw cap back on. It does hold this wire in place. Now that you have gravity bled your caliper, you can get in the car and feel for the brake pedal. Make sure it's nice and hard and at the top. If it's not, and it feels squishy, you're gonna have to do a complete brake bleed procedure. Put our wheel on. Make sure you line it up. Once you're lined up, you can get one of your lug nut studs started. You are gonna have to keep a hand on it. And continue the way around. Let's tighten it up. We're gonna do it in a crisscross manner. Walk the wheel up. Make sure it's flush. We're going to torque our wheels to 95 foot-pounds. I'm using a 17mm socket. We're going to do this in a crisscross pattern. First thing you want to do is remove your old fluid, clean off your cap, remove it, inspect it, make sure it's good. And now we're going to use a siphon. Make sure you have a drip pan next to it. And we're going to pull out the old fluid. I'm going to take a little bit out first, then take out that filter. I'm going to use a pair of skinny needle nose pliers and pull out the filter. And now we can pull out the rest of the fluid. Continue until it's empty. Let's put our filter in now that that's empty, and we're gonna fill it up with clean fluid. Make sure you use what the manufacturer recommends. Usually says it on the cap. This one says .4, so I'm going to use .4 brake fluid. You're going to fill that up until you get to the max line. Once you fill that up, you're going to put your cap back on and clean the area. Now let's get ready to bleed our brakes. The procedure is right rear, left rear. Then we're going to stop and check our master cylinder and make sure it's nice and full, top it off. And then we're going to continue on with right front to left front. All right, so we're going to begin the brake bleed procedure. I have someone in the vehicle that's going to help me out. We're at the right rear wheel. I'm going to take off this cap. And you also need to take off this wear sensor wire. And you can just put that off to the side. You're going to need something to catch your fluid in. You can put that right on top of the bleeder screw when it's time. We're going to start by asking the person in the vehicle to pump it up. He's holding pressure on the brake pedal. And we're going to loosen up our bleeder using a 10mm wrench. Make sure you put that on top. It's to the floor. We're going to close it down. And we're going to keep doing this until we no longer see air bubbles running through. Looks like we're pretty good over here. I'm going to close that down and take off our catcher. I'm going to clean it off using some brake pads cleaner. Now we can put this back on. And also this one. And now we're going to move to the left rear. We just got done the first 2 wheels, and now we're going to top it off. Remove your cap and fill it up to max. Put your cap back on and continue the rest of your brake bleed procedure. Now we're at the right front. We're going to take off the bleeder cap the same way we did in the rear. And just leave that hanging. I'm going to use a 10mm wrench. Pump it up, please. He's holding. It's to the floor. Close it down. Pump it up, please. It's holding. To the floor. Not seeing any air in that. I'm going to close it down. Clean off the area. Let that air dry and then put your cap back on. And then we're going to continue to our left front. Your left front wheel also has the wear indicator wire on the bleeder screw. Make sure you remove that before beginning your bleeding procedure. Remove your cap and top it off. Make sure it's at max. Put your cap back on.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.